What's up guys, and welcome back to Project Z Garage. Today we're going to be working on the Audi Q3 and we're going to be replacing the rear shocks. One good thing is we got all the parts from FCP Euro, and they actually sell a kit for the whole car. So you can do the front suspension, rear suspension, or just the front or just the rear, and they give you everything you need to complete the job. This isn't sponsored, paid for it with my own money, but it is very convenient that you don't have to cross-reference screws and everything like that. Here's everything we have for the rear. We have some Bilstein shocks. We've got the top hats, all brand new, which is great. New rubber bushings, bump stops, screws, bolts, because a lot of these bolts are one-time use only, and you're gonna need those. And these are the shock covers and things like that. All right guys, so let's get to it. It is very hot today. I'm sweating, and I shouldn't be wearing a wool hat, but I'm wearing a wool hat because my hair is a mess. But first things first, we're going to take off the wheel. Straightforward. These have aftermarket wheels, so please consult your user manual to see what size wheels you have and what size lug nuts are on your wheels, so you can take them off. So we're going to do that first, and then we'll start working on taking everything apart. Guys, next step, we have to take this inner cover off. It's a Torx T25. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. And we're going to remove all of this to get the inner cover out so that we can see the shock better and have better access. So these are real easy. Definitely get yourself a container to put them in so that you don't lose them, because there's a lot of them that have to come off. And just work your way around where you find them. There we go. I mean, we're probably gonna have to wash out in here. You can see all the mud and stuff that build up over time. Should get they're all over the place. Alright guys, so once all the screws are, it pretty much just pops out, as you can see here. And the great thing is, we can wash this out now. You can see that it's like felt or something that's sprayed in there for noise. A couple of the screws came out with the backing parts, so we'll have to take those out. But now, you can see how much extra room we have here to see everything. We got our evap canister there for your fuel. We have our shock. We have a clear view of. You can see the shock top where we have to get to those bolts. Now is actually a good time. We're probably gonna spray this down and clean this all up once we get the shock out, so this looks a little neater and cleaner, and then we'll go from there, guys. All right, guys. So now that we got the fender well cover off, we're gonna loosen the two screws up here. These are 16 millimeters bolts here and here, and then we have a 21 millimeter back here that needs to come off. So what we're gonna do is we've already loosened these a little bit, but we're gonna take this bottom bolt off first. If you have a spring compressor, you should put a spring compressor on just to take up a little slack. I put a jack on it just to lift this up, to put a little pressure on the shock and make this more level. Once you jack up on this, you can kind of get a extension in here, but you're gonna have to use an open end wrench to loosen it. A good thing to have, I have here, is a 21 millimeter ratcheting wrench, and we can just hit this. This one is really hard. You're gonna have to use some sort of a bar on it. So let's take this off first, and then we'll take the other one off, the two on the top. Take the two out from here. One, two, and then we can finish off by unscrewing this one. It's got some rust on it. Whew, that's a long bolt. Just be careful with your hands. Had it out. This is a very long spool. Oh Lord, that's a problem. Whew. And here we go. We get the whole thing out. Now we'll just match this up to what we have in the kit, and we need the top here, this top hat off, so we'll have to reassemble the new strut or shock for the new top and the cap, and we'll go from there. This cap, we just cleaned it up, is what we're going to have to reuse from this one, but we have all new stuff to replace. So we got the bump stop, the top hat. We have the new shock, which we'll cut off. The bolt is actually, I was looking for the bolt in the kit thinking I didn't get it, but the bolt is on top there. So we can, it's a locking nut. We can slide this over it. But before we do that, I think we gotta put this on. We got a new cover too. Let's see how this works. Oh, I think I might have to go over. I have to get it over this one here. Alright. Let me try getting this in first. Take it out of this. Yeah, sure. Alright, I think we're gonna have to smush this in. Alright guys, so we got everything back together. This top bolt here is a lock nut. This has to be 25 Newton meters. So this is a 17 millimeter. And we just wanna, it's better to put this in a press, I mean a vise. But if you look at the, all right guys, so we set this to 25 Newton meters. Now we're gonna put the cap on. The cap's on. Now we have all new hardware because these are not reusable. They're one-time use because we're gonna have to torque them, so they're stretch bolts. Let's put this in. Alright, so what we're gonna do is get this lined up. Put the two top ones in. We got those in. Now we're gonna have to force the shock up to get this big bolt in. Alright guys, so what we ended up doing is dropping down the jack, putting in the bottom first, then jacking up the spring and everything else to get the top in. These are a 16 millimeter, the bottom is a 21 millimeter. This one is 180 Newton meters, and the one up here, these two here are 50 Newton meters plus 45 degrees. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to 50 Newton meters on both of these, mark them, and then turn them another 45 degrees, and then those will be torqued correctly, and the bottom will do the same. We're gonna hit 180 Newton meters on the bottom bolt, and then the shock is in and ready to go. And then all we have to do is get as you can see, we cleaned the inside of the wheel well already. And we're just gonna put the inner wheel well back in, screw everything back up, and put the wheel back on, and that should be that for this side. And we can start working on the other side. All right guys, so we have everything torqued. As you can see, we put our markings there and there. We did the quarter turn. This bottom one is a pain to get to. You have to get a really short socket and to get the torque wrench on it, and then we torqued that down to 180 Newton meters. There is no degree turn after it. It's just 180 and that's it. So that is done. Now we're gonna work on putting the wheel well liners back in, and then we can put the wheel on and call this side complete. All right guys, so we've got the inner wheel well put back together. We cleaned it up, as you can see. Looks a lot nicer now. And now all we gotta do is put on the wheel, and this side is complete. All right, guys, that concludes this install. If you like it, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.